Attracting real love, that is love that isn't codependent, attachment pattern driven, trauma bonding, twin flame, whatever you want to call it. Attracting real healthy love requires getting rid of the fear of abandonment by at least 90%. Because when you don't walk away from something that is repetitively re-traumatizing you, or all your actions are driven by the fear of him breaking up with you, you're choosing to stay in a dynamic that over time continues to prove to you that healthy love just doesn't exist. So this video is going to give you 5 powerful supporting beliefs that will not only help you to attract healthy love, but make it feel effortless to keep it. So let's just jump in. Belief number 1, I know my value as a partner. When a man is with you, how does he benefit? What do you bring to the relationship, right? What do you do in the relationship? This can feel like quite an intimidating question to ask yourself at first, because sometimes when relationships haven't been going well, we just kind of think we're rubbish at them, don't we? But I encourage you to just go ahead and make a list on this, right? You can use this as a journal prompt if it helps first, because knowing this about yourself helps you to understand your value as a person in your own right and your value as a partner. Something cute you can do. Actually, one of my friends did this to me and I replied to him, and this is where I'm getting it from, is you can message 10 friends and ask them, what do they value about you? And that gives you an outsider's perspective. And when they reply, you reply back and answer the same question. It's really interesting what you get back. It's not what you think about yourself, and it's touching in many ways. So often we get caught up in trying to self-improve ourselves and self-regulate to within an inch of our lives to become perfect. And actually, what about celebrating your good qualities? Because men are choosing you. So there's something good going on in there. And even if you feel unchosen because you're attracting men who don't know a good thing when they see it, people are choosing you every day. So pay attention to that. When you know your value as a partner, and when you know the aspects that need to be improved, that's the magical sweet spot where you can really show up feeling worthy to be on the date or in the relationship. And you can have a balanced view of where you could make some small shifts on making relationships work better for you. So the next one is a trickier one because it isn't an affirmation as much as you kind of have to do it in real life. And that is, I encourage you to embody what I'm about to say next. I choose myself above any man. We've all been in a relationship and seen it breaking down in front of our very eyes. I could literally create a trilogy that competes with the running time of Lord of the Rings, where I depict all of my failed relationships, okay? So no judgment from me. We've all been on dates where we're literally watching it play out in slow motion and thinking, what the hell is even happening right now? This is not right. Something feels off. I'm not sure I'm into this. We stay for a valid reason. We want to see things play out and gather data. And staying in the middle of conflict or uncertainty is actually a sign of being stable. You're not running away, you're not shutting down, you're not avoiding, you're continuing the experience even if it's uncomfortable, so you can see the data more clearly and be confident in your decision. I'm not the type of dating coach that tells you to leave him or not go on a second date with him. I'm the type of dating coach who shows you how to stay regulated whilst you actually gather the data, whilst you use the experience to learn, whilst you actually find out whether that red flag is actually a red flag or it's your fear voice just screaming at you because something similar happened in the past, right? That's the most powerful thing I can give you, is the ability to regulate, stay in the moment, collect data, and make discerning decisions for yourself. No one can ever tell you what to do, and definitely not ChatGPT. But there will come a time when you have the data, you know you want to end the connection, and this will be the moment where you absolutely must. And you know that I very rarely use the word must, right? But this time, you absolutely must choose yourself at all costs. If you're not feeling happy or comfortable in the connection, if you're not feeling emotionally safe, then why do that to yourself? Why force yourself to stay? Why force yourself to continue dating someone you're unsure about? That's also another very powerful journal prompt. Do it and see what comes up for you. Why do you stay in it for longer than you need to? It's deeper than you think. And I just want to clarify, This isn't about running away from a connection that has had a few hard moments from time to time. It's about dating connections that don't build true intimacy or safe relating dynamics over time, or it's about relationships that never seem to feel smooth, no matter how hard you try. Babe, it's okay to walk away. There will be someone else. You will be loved. You are already chosen. The universe hasn't forgotten you. There's a bigger plan, I promise you, and you'll be okay. Even better than that, you'll be fabulous and at peace again in time, okay? But you are someone who's worth choosing, whether it's by someone else or whether it's by you. Okay, this next one is a game changer in your dating dynamics. And this energy shows even before you say a word on the first date. It shows in your very being. It shows in your dating profile text and the way you message on those dating apps as well, or on the phone. When you feel this way about yourself, you naturally attract relationship-minded men because they're secretly hoping and wishing for a woman who feels this way about herself. Are you ready for it? I'm worth waiting for. My body or my mind is not for low investors. Here's a question I encourage you to think about. When you start a new relationship, what do you invest and when do those investments start? Maybe pause this video and write it down quickly, or in your phone notes, right? Or just circle back to it. Do you pay for dates? Do you give him all of your time very early on? Do you give him every weekend? Yes, I'm looking at you. Do you have physical intimacy in the first few weeks? Do you feel de-energized and closed to dating multiple men in the first 4 weeks? And here's the thing, none of this is right or wrong, but it could be that your investment amounts and timings aren't working for you. If you're getting drained by your dating dynamic, change it. There is no ultimate right and wrong. Some women go into physical intimacy earlier than others. I never personally recommend it because that's how attachment builds and you might not even know who this person is just yet. But there is no right and wrong. It's only about what investments are you willing to make and which ones do you need to scale down. It's very tailored to you. A second question, ask yourself, what do I actually want? Then look at your emotional, physical, and tangible investments into that new connection. Are those investments getting you to what you want? If the answer is no, something has to be changed. It's as logical as that. You were not born into a world that taught you your worth, that as a woman, you are quite literally perfection. Just the way you are, without diets, without makeup, without accommodating to others, that you deserve to be happy, place yourself first and be protective. If this sounds woo to you, then I really want you to just keep replaying that bit on repeat, because as many times as you need to, so you start believing it. Women, in my humble opinion, are the gatekeepers. We are an expression of the divine. And when you hold yourself as worthy enough to wait for, the men adjust not just their behavior to you, but actually their respect, their perception, and their value of you. They literally worship you. They look up to you. There are so many cute signs when this happens in relationship. There are also so many men who don't date you when you hold your standards like this and when you only do things in your own timings because they are not ready for you. In fact, they're not ready for a life partnership or marriage at all. They are not ready emotionally or mentally to find their one. They're just looking for someone to go along with their flow for the time being, and that's not you. So by genuinely embodying the feeling of I'm worth waiting for, whether that's emotional readiness or physical readiness, or not investing as much up front, whatever the investment could be for you. It could literally be anything. It could feel more like a sacrifice than an investment even. The only men left standing after all of that, after scaling back how much you give, all this overgiving, are the ones who are actually ready for you in your completeness, right? This is low investment, high return, and it's the ROI dating method I teach in my coaching container. And there's a second part to this, right? Date in your own timing and then gather data on how men don't lose interest. If a man is interested in you, he's not going to break up with you because you go too slow. Just think about the logic for a second. When you want something, do you say, well, I don't want it anymore because it's taking too long? No, you don't do that. You only lose interest in things that you don't want anymore. And sometimes if the man was never looking for anything that special in the first place, then why does he have any business dating you? You're special. Gather the data on how men actually up in the investment in you when you give less, right? And you're not doing it in a manipulative way. You're learning from the past. Women tend to give their hearts so quickly. And sometimes if the man isn't consistent and he throws it away after 3-6 months, you're going to emotionally burn out, right? So just go a little slower, go a bit more pace, be mindful of the investments you make and which ones work for you and which ones don't. And this is how you will give less and experience more. And you know what? A happy woman makes a man happy. So when you're happy, he's happy. There's wisdom to that old saying, right? So the more you protect your own happiness, the easier you are to date. And ultimately, you know, men should be able to do the emotional work in relationship. It's not about you being easy and stepping on eggshells and all of that. But if you're getting frustrated with yourself because you're not able to set boundaries, or you gave too much and then you project it onto him when really you are just angry with yourself for not setting your own boundaries and sticking with them, that's a surefire way to start a spiral of relationship failure. So gather the data, and when you really choose yourself in a way that embodies, I am worth waiting for, whatever that actually means to you, okay? Gather the data and put it in the Excel sheet that I know you have in your mind, okay? Put it in that Excel sheet. I know you have one. And when you do this, you are collating data on a whole new belief system. You are loved, you are chosen, and you are valued, and you don't have to give and earn any of that, right? And this is my favorite honest part about coaching. When I get to have the privilege of watching women step into this energy through embodiment, and when I see how happy and confident they are in themselves without changing anything external at all, they get more for doing less in essence, okay? And I just love watching it happen. I love watching it roll out. It makes me happy because I know what it feels like to not be a woman who is having that experience in dating, and it's making you feel undesired and unworthy, and that's not how you deserve to feel. Okay, this one is a bit of a plot twist, and this really pays homage to the reality of dating and using dating as a self-development process that takes you to the one, your life partner, however you call it. Right, here we go. Number 4, I trust myself even when I'm wrong. Dating is a process of trial and error. You will get some things wrong, and you will also see yourself improve. Sometimes you will end connections when they could have been worked on more, and sometimes you will forgive when you should have walked away. Your new reaction to that is a shoulder shrug, okay? Because that's just what dating is, a learning process. You see, there is no textbook or universal truth on what to do. You simply have to use the process to learn what works for you. So if you keep feeling like a failure every time a connection ends, you're not really seeing the situation for what it was, a learning experience, and it's all okay. There is space and time to learn and improve. To take a deep breath and use that as our mantra. There is space and time to learn and improve and get what you want. There really is, okay? All you can do is trust yourself. Trust your intuition that you will do your best to get it right. That's all we can ever do. Take the steps to emotionally skill yourself so you can have the healthy, stable, and romantic relationship that you deserve. And then if you genuinely get something wrong, you can just trust yourself to learn from it, take ownership of it, be sorry for it, fix it, get support, walk away, and course correct, whatever applies to that situation, right? You can trust yourself to do the right thing. Okay, and this final one is a belief that sort of ties the others together. And this is the one that I really didn't believe for the longest time. Because being a scientist, I'm more of a data-oriented person, okay? But this shift into believing this one changed everything for me. Okay, are you ready for this one? This is your new mantra. It's all working out for me. I trust in divine timing. This is the most woo one of them all, and you know that is not my usual style, okay? But I have actually seen the data for this, so that's how I can tell you it's true in my own journey and in the journey of my clients. Sometimes things happen in such perfect timing. You cannot actually get anything wrong. You really can't. Almost like a whole curriculum is just being rolled out for you in your dating journey, and you just have to take the next step, and the next step is coming your way. Whatever you do, the next step is coming and you're doing it all right, okay? The dating journey bringing you lessons that ultimately take you to your one, and everything is perfectly timed and a perfect part of your journey. And even if you wanted the story to be different, and I really know what that feels like in the moment, right? Because you didn't realize the up levels that were coming your way in the future. Because you think this guy that you're dating, or the one who just broke up with you, or the connection that ended, or the one from 3 years ago where you had a value misalignment, and you were like, no, I think he was the one. I think he was the one and I did everything wrong. No such thing. In my coaching practice, I have seen things roll out in front of my eyes where even when things went wrong in the past, it all corrected. It all corrected. Sometimes even with the same man, okay? And it's not because she learned a skill set. I mean, that helps, right? And it's not, this point I want to be very clear on. It is just rolling out for you. And you are part of it, okay? And it's just a journey of learning. So just embrace it. Just embrace the learning journey. And when you have this trust in your journey, instead of trying to make the wrong relationships work, or shaming yourself for failing, repeating a past mistake, or getting things epically wrong. I cannot tell you how many times I have got things epically wrong. I literally have, okay? You are just able to lighten the emotional load when you know that it was always going to happen. There are certain things we just have to process and learn, and until we do it, they just keep on coming back to us. But that doesn't mean there isn't something beautiful in store for you, right? So if you can lighten the load just enough to actually see the powerful work that you can do, that is in your control, and that will accelerate your journey and allow yourself to experience peace, joy, and pleasure in your life, even when you don't have the relationship that you want yet, right? You are not alone. The universe is working in your favor. All of these belief shifts I talked about today are about losing the fear of abandonment and trusting that there is something bigger out there. Doesn't have to be God. It can just be the fact that it's physics and we're all connected and every action has a reaction, or whatever, however you have to say it in your mind to believe, okay? Because this one took the longest time for me to believe. And until I believed this one, I really felt so alone in my dating journey, okay? So remember that all of the shifts I've talked about, all of the beliefs I've talked about, circling back to the very beginning, they're about getting rid of the fear of abandonment. So you can actually look at what's going on, like look directly dead in the eye what's going on in your dating journey. And instead of worrying about, is he going to break up with me? Is he going to abandon me? Does he like me back? You get to put yourself in your own frame and be like, hang on a second. What is this part of my journey saying to me? When you approach it this way, you will attract and build the best possible relationship for you. And these belief shifts drive behaviors in dating that completely change the entire relationship dynamic you create from the very beginning, or a relationship from dating, and it will accelerate your timeline significantly in finding lifetime partnership. What a lot of these shifts do for my clients is it shifts them from being the chosen to the chooser in dating for marriage or life partnership. And that energy is sexy and magnetic as hell. And if you found this content useful or empowering in your dating journey to love, I would really appreciate if you would drop me a little like and subscribe, so my content can reach other glorious women who might just need to hear, I'm okay just the way I am, in their dating journey to love today. And so the next question is, what do you actually do tangibly? That is, what are the emotional skills to get yourself in the position of being the chooser in dating for life partnership in the first place? What do you need to do to become the woman who gets the healthy and loving relationship that you truly deserve? The next video is probably the best in this entire series and tells you exactly step by step what those emotional skills are in full transparency to get a healthy relationship where life partnership is simply an inevitability. It's an inevitable outcome. Click the next video to find out. Sending so much love.